Good evening. I'm Dr. Fred Rouse, the Real Money Doctor, and it's currently Wednesday, just a couple of minutes before 7 o'clock on June the 17th. And I want to do today's daily recap of events that affect the way you get, protect, and enjoy your money, your life, and your retirement. The question for today is, do you know what's happening to your money? And I'll get to that in just a few minutes. That's a pretty important question, but we will get to that in just a couple minutes. I want to touch base, as we normally do, on the COVID case situation. There's still people on Facebook that calls the entire thing a hoax. It's absolutely amazing. If you're here with me now, I hope you understand that it's not. Right now, the total number of cases in the U.S. is 2,157,000 cases so far in the U.S. That's another 27,000 cases since yesterday. The total deaths right now in the U.S. is over 117,000. Over 117,000 people have died from COVID so far in the U.S. That's basically another close to 900 since yesterday. Now, New York is still a hot spot for the total number of cases anyway. Total number of cases in New York State are 385,000 cases right now. They've picked up pretty much another 560 cases or so since yesterday. The total deaths right now in New York State are 30,939. So they had another 57 people that died yesterday from COVID. Now, New Jersey still has the second number highest cases in the United States at 167,000, almost 168, but not quite. Okay, and they picked up another 277 cases from yesterday. Your total deaths in New Jersey State right now are 12,835 people have died. That's another 43 people that have died since yesterday. California is the number 3 spot, followed by Illinois, Massachusetts, Pennsylvania at number 6. Texas is number 7. Florida is number 8. Michigan is number 9, and it rounds out the top 10 with Maryland. Now, the death rates in New York and New Jersey have dropped dramatically from where they were just a month ago, and even just several weeks ago. But people are still dying. And again, there are people on social media that just think the entire thing's a hoax. The whole thing with the masks and the social distancing and the COVID by itself. Whatever, there's not enough tinfoil to go around for the hats these people wear. But that's okay. They're entitled to believe whatever they want. And that's okay. They're just not my neighborhood, which is good. I don't associate with those folks. They go off in their own little thing, and that's okay. Right now, all these deaths, all these increased cases are going on as every one of the 50 states is still opening up. More are happening in the South and the West. Okay, the chances for a vaccine this year are pretty much, slim to none. It's not going to happen. However, as of today, at least 19 states have seen new cases go up in the last 2 weeks, and 6 states reported record-breaking increases in COVID cases. Florida State reported 2,783 new cases overnight. Texas reported 2,600 new cases overnight. Arizona reported a one-day jump of 2,392 cases. Oklahoma, Oregon, Nevada also reported their highest single-day spikes as in the cases yet. Now, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis dismissed the concerns Tuesday that the reopenings are driving the state's record-breaking run. He said that there are spikes just due to testing, particularly in high-risk areas like nursing homes and in farming communities. You really need widespread testing of asymptomatic people. When you do that, you're going to get more cases. The restaurants have been doing this for 6 weeks, and I mean, the idea that all of a sudden this is the reason, I'm not so sure that that's the case. And so we're not shutting things down, and that's exactly what he said. However, the bars in several cities have started closing on their own after workers and patrons tested positive for the virus, including Lynch's Pub in Jacksonville. 7 of its 49 employees tested positive. So did Erica Crisp, okay, and 10 of her friends after getting there for drinks. She said, "We've all been stuck indoors for months, being careful, social distancing, doing everything the right way. And then the first night we go out, Murphy's Law, I guess." That's what she said. She just blamed it off on Murphy's Law. But her and 10 of her friends are now positive because they just went out one night into this bar. Now, a similar phenomenon is happening in bars as they reopen in Texas, according to Governor Greg Abbott, who threatened to suspend liquor licenses for restaurants violating the reopening rules. There are certain counties where a majority of people who are getting tested positive in that county are under the age of 30. And this typically results from people going to bar-type settings, is what Abbott said. Now, the mayors of 9 Texas cities sent Abbott a letter urging him to grant them the authority to mandate face masks in public. Okay, right now, they sort of need permission because in Texas, the face mask is an optional thing. But now you've got mayors of 9 Texas cities urging him to just let me, in my own city at least, mandate masks. That hasn't happened just yet. We'll see what happens as that goes on. Now, a bit of good news came out yesterday. A potential breakthrough emerged in fighting coronavirus. Scientists in the United Kingdom said that a cheap, decades-old steroid called dexamethasone has reduced the deaths in COVID cases in patients that require oxygen by 20% and reduced the deaths by 35% for people on ventilators. Now, Dr. John Lepock, CBS News chief medical correspondent, called it a really good news. He said that while the findings still need to be published and peer-reviewed, the initial reports are really promising. One of the nice things here is that there are a relatively large number of patients studied for several months. And so the fact that they're saying there's a statistical significant decrease in mortality with dexamethasone is very encouraging. And we did a good section on this yesterday. Again, if you were severely ill and on oxygen, they found that it helped. If you're on a ventilator, so you're pretty severely ill if you're on a ventilator, okay, it helped even more. So, but what's all this mean to you? Okay, really, the states are going to continue to reopen. Okay, the chances for a national shutdown are basically zero at this point in time. Just not going to happen. The president just won't have any of it. He won't. Now, he was 2 months late to the game to begin with. When he finally acknowledged it was a real problem, he shifted almost everything off to the states and then didn't want his name on any of this. Now, with the elections coming up, he's putting, serious distance between himself and this whole situation. He's acting as if there's no problem at all at this point in time, which couldn't really be farther from the truth. But again, you've still got people on Facebook and other social media saying the whole thing's a hoax. So who knows where the belief system is? Now, on top of that, the American people are not mentally ready for another national shutdown. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. They've had enough, and they're moving on with the new normal as it is, okay, with social distancing and wearing masks. Those that don't will end up getting surprised, just like they did at Lynch's Pub in Jacksonville. And it's been always up to the states and local municipalities, and they end up making the call based on their local conditions. You as an individual will also need to make decisions based on what's going on in your actual local area, as well as your personal situation regarding your risks for you and your family. Those decisions should take into account a number of different things about the COVID situation in your area, you and your family's existing age and health, as well as your financial situation. None of these decisions really can be made in a vacuum. You need to weigh all those factors and in the end, do what's right for you. Which brings me really to today's question. Do you know what's happening to your money? Probably not. And no one else does either. And that's the problem. The U.S. has spent more than a half of $3 trillion in economic rescue funds passed by Congress, with little oversight intended to ensure that the money goes to the right places. Okay. They had the best intentions, and they thought they worked out a deal. They thought there was going to be oversight, but it just hasn't happened. This is an amazingly large amount of money that was intended to keep U.S. economy, lots of small businesses, and workers from completely going under with a shutdown. Now, Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin is absolutely refusing to disclose the recipients of the taxpayer-funded loans. Given the many problems with the program, it's imperative that American taxpayers know if the money is going where Congress intended it to small and unbanked small businesses. The administration's resistance to transparency is outrageous and serves only to further raise the suspicions about how the funds are actually being distributed and who's actually benefiting from them. And that's what Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer had to say. So Congress is trying to get this under control, but it's really, really been difficult. It was written into the legislation, but things have happened, okay, since the legislation was passed. The oversight that was passed is being ignored by the administration. Three new oversight bodies are barely functioning, okay? There's a special inspector general who was only recently sworn in by a congressional panel and still lacks a chairman and a staff. And President Donald Trump quickly removed the official who was going to lead that separate accountability committee. At the same time, about $2 trillion in stimulus money has already been distributed, according to estimates from the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget. They're a nonpartisan group focused on fiscal policy. The sheer size of the pandemic response means that there's a wide swath of issues to investigate. The legislation passed by Congress is worth about $3 trillion over a decade, though some of the cost will be recouped in later years. That's the theory of it, okay? So that the money going out in the economy right now are actually going to be closer to $4 trillion, according to the Committee for Responsible Federal Budget. Now, the Congress's Economic Rescue Plan enacted 4 bills so far during March and April. It's circulating money into the economy that came to a near standstill during the coronavirus lockdowns. The measure provided for forgivable loans to small businesses, stimulus checks for individuals. You may have gotten yours already, probably have. They're talking about another one, but we'll see what happens. And also expanded unemployment benefits, payments for healthcare providers, and money for the Federal Reserve to leverage to lend to small businesses. Well, the House overwhelmingly passed the aid bill amid, the health and precautions. Some of the business leaders are wary that the lawmakers will be politically motivated in their approach to oversight. There is already a growing concern that congressional oversight will be in part focused on companies or sectors that various elected officials will view as unworthy of assistance, irrespective of whether they qualify under the terms of the programs in question. That was from Neil Bradley, Chief Policy Officer at the Chamber of Commerce. He said that earlier this month in a separate hearing of the Accountability Committee that made up for federal watchdogs. Now, understand the way it was written originally, a lot of businesses, large businesses, technically qualified for the money. It was never intended for them, but they technically qualified and they saw it as a big giveaway. And they went and applied and they got tons of money, while the smaller mom and pops just got phased out. Again, there was a major disaster with the banking situation. The regulations for it were unclear, and the banks just went to the biggest customers that they had because they got paid the same amount of money, okay? And they got paid a percentage of the money they loaned. So it was in the bank's best interest not to bother with the $200,000 loans, but to work on people with bigger loans in the millions of dollars, so they get higher percentage rates on those loans. That's how they get paid, and that's what they did. And you had major companies that were taking money that could have gotten private funding, that already had money of their own, but took the money anyway. Now, some of them were actually shamed into returning some of it, but we don't know. We don't know where the money went. We don't know what companies took the money or how much money they got. Okay. Now, a major oversight body, the Pandemic Response Accountability Committee, made up of federal agency inspector generals, okay, got a jolt early in April when Trump fired, okay, Glenn Fine, the Pentagon watchdog, who had been cast to lead it. Okay. It was the first of Trump's 5 dismissals of inspectors general that he considered insufficiently loyal. And that's the problem with the current administration. It doesn't matter that these people have been in civil service for years through multiple administrations, both Republican and Democrat. But Trump runs this is if you're not loyal to him personally, then you're pretty much on the way out. Now, I am very concerned that it will have a chilling effect. Is this what Cynthia Snyder said, who served as a deputy inspector general and an acting inspector general at the Justice Department? I don't think the firings are going to scare most IGs. They will do their jobs, but he can pick them off one by one. And that's exactly what he's been doing. Now, the Paycheck Protection Program, the watchdog panel known as PRAC, okay, has started dozens of audits and investigations and has begun to publish initial findings about the problems with the Paycheck Protection Program, the distribution of small business loans to potential fraud and related unemployment benefits. However, new regulations from the White House office, okay, of Management and Budget could keep the panel from getting much of the information that Congress said must be made public. And again, it was written into the law originally. It was written into the law originally. And the White House is just thumbing its nose to this entire thing. So you really don't know who's getting the money. No, I'm really not trying to be political. It's just the facts of the matter. Okay, the sun comes up in the east. I can't change that. Now, you can say it comes up in the west all you want. Okay, but there are tons of facts that will prove you wrong. The president is shutting this thing down left and right. So we don't know who's getting the money. Now, the law says that recipients of at least $150,000 in stimulus money should report details on how they spent the money. But an OMB memo said the additional reporting wasn't really necessary to meet the requirements. So you got people getting over $150,000 in forgivable loans, but you don't know what they spent the money on. Something a little bit wrong with this, don't you think? The watchdog panel said in a letter to the White House Oversight and Government Reform Committee that the OMB's guidance would keep PRAC from getting the breadth and depth of the data they actually needed to oversee the full range of the programs. Okay, and they're supposed to be studying this stuff. The Government Accountability Office also has auditing stimulus spending, but has been able to not really get the information from the Treasury Department. Hundreds of billions of dollars of small business loans for the report are due at the end of the month. And the inspectors general dismissed by Trump included those at the departments of state, defense, transportation, health and human services. All these people raised concerns from both parties that there may be more firings in the works. So what's all that really mean to you? Okay. If you're watching this, chances are you're not part of the 1 or 2% that's been getting all the breaks over the last 40 to 50 years. Chances are you're part of the working class, okay? Part of the folks that I've been working with for years. Small business people, okay? Middle class folks, mom and pop operations. Now, some of you may be on the lower end of the economic spectrum of all this stuff. Others may be on the higher end. Either way, this is your money. The government has been giving away your money. And again, they're giving away to people at the top two. You may have gotten some of the money, which is a good thing. But you can believe, okay, that you got pennies on the dollar in relation to the bigger players. And we don't know who they are or how much they got. So you really don't know what's going on. And what's real is that, you're the one who's paying for this down the line. They're going to attack Social Security again and either decrease the amount of money or decrease the benefits or push the age back more so you get less and less in your checks. They're going to increase the payroll taxes that you pay, either as an employee or as a small business employer, because again, you match the employer taxes. Okay. You pay 7.5%, the employee pays 7.5%. So they're going to increase that at some point in time. Watch and see what happens. And it just won't be you. It'll be your kids. And there's a real good chance it's going to be their kids too. So you're on your own. You've always been on your own though. And if you're 50 plus, you've been getting the short end of the stick for years now. And you're not asking for a government check. And you don't expect a Lamborghini in your driveway or a 30-bedroom mansion on a beach. But you would like a reasonable retirement, a house that's paid, a reasonable car to drive, and enough money for a little travel every now and then. Okay. However, the money has been flowing to the upper 1% to 2% for years now. And your chances for anything that remotely looks like a reasonable retirement get further and further away with every passing day. Because your retirement planning got diverted along the way for a myriad of reasons over the years. And now at 50 plus, okay, you're trying to figure out how to get the cash flow you're going to need to be reasonably comfortable in your retirement. You only have a short window of time to make a real difference. And the way to save a 30-year plan, saving, $800, maybe $1,000 a month for 30 years, it just hasn't worked at this point for you. And right now, there's absolutely no chance it's going to work because you don't have that kind of time. Friends and family have been telling you for years now, and you've had that inkling in the back of your mind yourself that you'll be working until the day you die. And you're really starting to believe them at this point in time. It's not a pleasant thought. You already put in 30, maybe 40 years. You should be able to retire in dignity. Instead, walk through Lowe's, walk through Home Depot, walk through Walmart. Who do you see stocking shelves? 70-year-old guy? Okay. Before all this COVID nonsense got started, you went to the diner. Who's waiting at tables? The 65-year-old grandmother? Do you think she wants to be doing that? Do you want to be doing those things when you're 65 or 70? When your health starts to go off just a little bit? Okay. You just want a chance to get away for a little bit of time, to have a reasonable retirement. You're not asking for a lot of stuff. Okay. It'd be nice just to be able to pick up and go somewhere for a long weekend and just stay because you liked it there. Okay. And you didn't have to worry about the job or the money. Okay. Now, if you're listening to me right now, okay, I'm telling you here right now, it's not too late. You don't have to be stuck working at Walmart, waiting tables at the diner whenever they reopen. Okay. You could, okay, get a certain set of new job skills that will give you the confidence to know that you don't have anything to worry about. You don't have to worry about surviving. You can actually retire in style. Now, maybe I can help you. Okay. I put a plan together, program that works for a lot of folks. It could work for you. It can put you back in control of your life and your cash flow. And you'll get the money that you'll need to retire in just 3 to 5 years. Never have to worry about the stock market crashing again. And you don't have to worry about working again. Now, I can't help everybody. I really can't. I'm retired myself. This is my way of giving back. I help people as best I can, but I can't help everybody. So go to my site, drrousenow.com. There's a 12-minute video there. Explains the program. If you're remotely interested, schedule a call. Okay. Yes, don't put it on a to-do list, but just schedule a call. We can at least talk to see if I can actually help you or not. I do the calls myself. It's not a call center from India. It's not one of my team members. I do the calls personally. I want to know, do you really have a need or not? If you do, can I actually help you or not? And then 3, do I think that we'd be able to work together? Now, you don't have to worry about the call because you can't buy anything on the call. I just want to know if I can help you or not. And if we can work together. So take a peek at the site, drrousenow.com. Go there, take a peek at the video, and see if that's remotely of interest to you. See if you fit the categories that are there and whether I can actually help you or not. Now, it's about 20 after 7 right now. We spent some time together. Like and share this video. Okay, I'll post this on my YouTube channel tomorrow, The Real Money Doctor, and like and share it there. Now, remember, my only goal is to help you to get, protect, and enjoy your money, your life, and your retirement. Okay, and that's what I've been doing for years. And in my retirement, okay, I'm not going to live forever. And I understand that, not a problem. I don't have a problem with that. But when I go, okay, this program will survive me. There will be people using this particular program to make money for themselves. They'll be able to show their kids, and their kids will show their kids, so that when I'm then gone, okay, this is out there working. This is my legacy. This is what I want to do. If I can help you, that'd be great. So again, go to the site, drrousenow.com, take a peek, and then give me a call, schedule it, and we can chat. Again, it's happy to spend some time with you. I look forward to spending some time with you again tomorrow, hopefully around 7 o'clock or so. I'm generally in the vicinity on time. And thank you.